The players are directly testing or I'm testing them to.
Niaje, what's up my guys? I go by the name MC Kasib the Cable. Mindo Cable ku connect watu through entertainment and sports. Na leo niko hapa kwa connect na jamaa mzito. Here we go. Leo tunapiga story na FABRIZIO Romano. I hope you know FABRIZIO Romano ni nani. Leo niko naye, tunaongea naye, namuuliza maswali 2-3 na mafans wangu waweze kujua at least ni nani, ameanzaje kazi yake na anafanya vipi. Unaelewa? FABRIZIO Romano, karibu sana kwa show yetu. Welcome to our show. Unajua mafans walikuwa wananiuliza, jamaa Cable, tunataka utuconnect na FABRIZIO Romano. Ndio maana leo nimeamua kuongea na wewe ndio wajue mambo mengi kukuhusu, alafu at least utakuwa unafurahia. Niko hapa Kenya 254, alafu niko na mashabiki wa Tanzania, wa Uganda na the all Africa na watu wote ambao wanaelewa Kiswahili. I think watafaidika na hili jambo. Sawa FABRIZIO Romano, sasa tuambie, ulianzaje haya mambo ya football? Ulianzaje mambo ya transfers? How did you start?
First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a big pleasure for me to be here. So thanks again, really. And it's really pure madness, I would say. Spending all day on my phone. I was even late here, so sorry again, but my phone is really blowing up and it's impossible to stop. But, you know, it's my favorite time of the year. I love it. I love to be in contact and in touch with people all day. And so ready for the final hours. I was 17, a kid, I would say. I was in Napoli. I'm from Napoli. My family is still there. And so I was there and I was writing on very small websites. And one day my life changed because I was practicing on very small Italian websites. And one day he called me from Barcelona. He was not an agent. He was a guy working in La Masia in the Academy of Barcelona. And he calls me. I still don't know how he had my phone number because I was not an important journalist. I was just a normal guy trying on a small website. And he called me and he told me, I'm a guy who is trying to approach some players here in La Masia. Was completely different football. Imagine, it was like 13 years ago. I'm trying to approach some players. I'm a big friend of the agent of one of these players, Mauro Icardi. And so if you can please publish something on your website about Mauro Icardi and Gerardo Deulofeu, these two players who are in Barcelona Academy, so I can show them that I'm making some rumors around them, and at the end I can try to approach them and enter into people managing the future. And that's how I started. I said, okay, no worries, send me some information about these players, how they play, how are their skills. I published those informations, and then Icardi moved from Barcelona to Sampdoria, and then from Sampdoria to Inter. It was my first news. I broke the story of Mauro Icardi joining Inter, and then going from there, I moved to Milano, and I started to spend like 6-7 years every single day during the transfer window in January and the summer around the city. Hotels, restaurants, meeting with people, agents, directors, presidents, players. And that's how I built the network. And then social media.
Alafu kakangu FABRIZIO Romano, unapata mshahara kivipi? How do you get paid, by the way? Or do you get paid? Ama unafanya kazi tu ya kusaidia watu wajue taarifa? Yani unapataje mshahara?
So, you know, with for example, working with newspapers or TV, this kind of collaborations, but also new media like social media platforms, right. Helping to build some collaboration. So there are different ways. This is not easy because sometimes you have to be creative, no? Not just as a journalist, but also as an agent of yourself. So I try to do my best, but I like it. I like challenges in general. And so.
Yes, FABRIZIO Romano, unajua kwenye game ya football, mostly kwa transfers, kuna so many big media houses, TV, radio ambazo zinapeana pia news about transfers, lakini watu wengi wameamua kukuamini wewe. Ulipataje uaminifu? Labda tuambie mashabiki wangu na mafans wangu waelewe, ulipataje uaminifu wa watu japo hata kama kuna so many big media houses ambazo zinapeana pia news, lakini watu wakukuamini wewe?
It's not easy when you have big platform, big numbers, a lot of people is approaching you, trying to sell you stories. And so for me, it's absolutely crucial to be accurate. This has always been my mission, number one. Try to be accurate, take some time, even if you're not first on the story, it's important to be accurate. So this is what I'm trying to do. I have some contacts and some sources that I trust 100%. So if they send me a message or they call me, I know that that story is 100% correct because they are never creating any issue to me. But many times now with, again, big numbers, a lot of people try to approach you and try to tell you things. So it's not easy, it takes time. But I think the only way to be successful in transfer market journalist is the obsession. You have to be on it every single day.
Labda jambo lingine ambalo mashabiki waliniuliza na wanataka kujua, huwa unaongea na wachezaji kabla utoe taarifa yao kwamba mchezaji fulani anaenda mahali fulani, ama huwa unaongea na maagent wao? Do you speak to players before you post their news, or how do you do?
Yeah, this is something new, honestly, because till like 2-3 years ago, it was almost impossible. Then I think Instagram changed the game on that. Because, for example, on Twitter, a couple of years ago, it was impossible to get in touch with players. It was not that kind of platform. It's an excellent platform, but was completely different approach with people on the platform. Now with Instagram, it's easier. So a lot of players are directly testing, or I'm testing them too sometimes, to ask information. So sometimes they tell me, please, can you say something about me because I want to leave the club? So yes, it's happening, and it's something strange. It feels still strange to me, but sometimes also big names are texting and they want to receive information or share information. So this is the new era of the transfer market, probably.
That's amazing, Fabrizio, man. Hey, watu wanakujua mpaka wanapata ma DMs manini kutoka kwa maagent. Alafu swali lingine ni ushawaipata ujumbe ama simu kutoka kwa kocha fulani wa timu fulani kusema kwamba Fabrizio bana, hapo hujafanya vizuri, mbona umetoa taarifa ya mchezaji wangu na sisi bado wenyewe hatujakwambia?
Always happening, and I think it's normal. I really respect them. I understand that sometimes they want to save the stories, but look, one of the best parts of my job is that everything I'm doing is always with good faith. So I'm never going to create a problem because I have to help someone or try to get some player out of the club. This is something that I would never do. If you start doing this one time, it's the end of your job in the transfer market industry. So, for example, it happened to me that it was a very big story. It was in March, end of March, when Bayern decided to fire Nagelsmann and to bring in Thomas Tuchel as new coach. That was very surprising, out of nowhere. I broke the story, and I remember the reaction was very furious to me, like, what is this? Why did you break the story? But then the sources at Bayern respected me because they told me, you tried to call us. You spent 2 hours calling us before sharing the story. And we really respect that because we were angry the first moment we saw the story out, okay, we were not happy. But then you tried to check the story. You were not just reporting what you know and nothing else. So for me, that was very important and made me understand once again that it's always important to be in good relation.
Kuna siku kwenye TV fulani ama kwenye radio fulani nilikusikia ukisema kwamba ile transfer ya Bruno Fernandes kwenda Manchester United ndio ilibadilisha maisha yako. Ni ukweli ama ni uongo? Na ilibadilisha kivipi?
In that case, with Bruno, it really changed my life because I understood that it was ground to make something special on European and international transfer market. I had the story of Bruno joining Man United after spending the whole summer telling Man United fans on Twitter, no, he's not coming. And all the people shouting at me like, no, he's coming. In the Portuguese and English press, they're saying he's almost done. And I was like, no, he's not joining. Then in January, when he joined the club, I had the picture of Bruno with his agent on the private flight ready to go to Manchester. And that moment changed my life.
How do you feel? Wewe unafeel aje kuona watu wengi wana post content yako bila kukwambia? Yes, like how do you feel? So many people wanatumia content yako, wanaipost kwenye FB, Twitter, kila mahali, hata ma TV stations zinatumia. How do you feel? Do you feel jealousy?
I think it would be not human to cover the whole international transfer market with one single person. So it would be stupid, I think, from me to pretend something like that. That's why I'm not jealous at all. And I think that if the industry is growing, it's just positive for me and for all the people working into it. Because I think when I started, when I was like 18, 20, the transfer market journalist was not at this level at all. It was full of stupid gossips, fake stories. So now the accurate journalism is completely on a different level. And I am a big fan of some people doing this job in Spain, in Germany, in England. For example, David Ornstein. I always see people in Twitter putting me against David, but he's one of my best friends in the football industry. And I think he's a fantastic journalist. I am only admiring his job as many others. So I don't see any competition. I think till things are respectful as they are on the social media and on traditional media is something that I'm always respecting, and I'm very happy to be part of that.
Uko kwenye simu 24/7 like myself. I follow you everywhere. Kwenye Twitch, wapi live. Like uko 24/7 kwenye simu. How do you sleep? Wewe unalala kweli?
Look, it's almost like this. It's almost like this. Then it depends on the moments. I think it's crucial to understand the moments. There are moments, you know better than me, that sometimes when there are games, for example, on Saturday and Sunday, it's easier to rest a bit more because nothing is happening. All the directors are maybe traveling with the squad, so nothing is happening on the transfer market. So you have to understand the moments, but there are moments like this week where you can sleep. So it's like...
FABRIZIO ROMANO, labda tuambie ni nani unafanya nao kazi? Team yako ni gani? Do you have any team are you working with ama unafanya kazi peke yako?
Just have 2 guys who help me with editing the videos and I produce like on YouTube. And then for all the other stuff, everything you see posted on my social media accounts is always posted by myself. I would never allow anyone to publish anything in my name. It's a respect, I think, for all the people following me, but also I would never be able to control that. And in the transfer market, how crucial is every single word. If you say agreement or verbal agreement, is completely different. So for me, it's crucial to control everything, to post everything by myself. And so I would never change that. Even in the contact with my sources, I would never allow anyone to call and say, I'm working with Fabrizio, can you share information with me? That's not in my style. I like to be in control of everything. So some help with the editing of the videos because I'm terrible at that. And then it's...
yani Fabrizio anatuambia kwamba kila kitu ambacho tunaona kwenye mitandao, yeye mwenyewe ndo anapost. Mtu amposti, yeye mwenyewe anapost. Akiingia pale kwenye FB, mwenyewe anapost. Akiingia pale kwenye X, yeye mwenyewe anapost. Insta, yeye mwenyewe anapost. Sawa. Swali la mwisho labda Fabrizio Romano, najua uko na kazi sana, unajua leo ni siku ya transfers, winding up ni nini. Swali ambalo ningependa kuuliza, swali la mwisho ni, sometimes unajua si kila kitu ambacho unapata ni right. Sometimes unaweza kosea upate kitu wrong. Like how do you deal with it? Umepata information wrong, alafu umeshare na si hivyo. How do you deal with it, Fabrizio?
At the beginning of my career, it was very disappointing. So I was like mad for 2-3 days. I was very, very sad for a couple of days. Then now I understand that the importance of sending the correct message to people. If you want to be part of the transfer window, I mean, as a follower too, just looking at it and being informed on the transfer news, you have to understand that part of this jungle is also for some deals to collapse for multiple reasons. For the medical test, maybe for the wife of the player changing her mind, or maybe because the club is too slow to complete the documents and another club is jumping into the race. It happened with Danjuma, for example, with Everton in January. That was a done deal, but really done deal. The player was there at the ground taking pictures with the shirt. So I can't control that. I can't sign contracts. That's what I always say. My job is to tell you when there is an agreement, when there is a player traveling for medical test. That's what I have to do. Then I can't sign contracts. So I'm trying to make people understand that sometimes this can happen.
Thank you so much, man, Fabrizio Romano, for your time. Nashukuru sana. Unajua najulikana kama MC Kasib the Cable, na hiyo imekuwa amazing interview naye Fabrizio Romano, king of transfers across the world. Unajua watu wanamwamini jamaa ambaye anatoka kule Italiano lakini anaaminiwa across the world. Kenya tunamwamini, Tanzania wanamwamini, Uganda wanamwamini, America wanamwamini. That is amazing, man. Unajua you requested me and I have given you, man. So what you do, just follow me, subscribe, share, like, alafu tutakutana kwenye next video. MC Kasib the Cable.